this video is to give you some help on how to complete the newsletter. You were given a rubric with some instructions. You may have already reviewed a lot of these items that are on the rubric, but just in case you need a little review, we will go ahead and show you how to do some of these things. So the first thing it says is your newsletter should include a title for your newsletter on top of the first page. And of course, there's different ways for you to do this. But in the example you were shown, there's actually a shape, a rectangle, that has a text inside. So we're going to go over how to insert that. We'll go ahead and click on Insert. Then we'll click on Shapes. And we want the rectangle. It might be in your recently used shapes, or you might have to go down here where it says rectangle and click on the rectangle. You will see a little crosshair or a cross. Now you can press your mouse button and drag in order to create the shape. When you get to the shape you would like, the size, you can let go of your mouse and you see your shape. So you need to choose a color. To choose a color, you can select here, shape, fill. Of course, you're going to make the newsletter with whatever colors you like. So I'm just going to choose the orange here. And you might notice that there's a little outline. So my outline here is in blue, so I want to remove that. So I will click on Shape Outline and put No Outline. And this is where my title is going to go. You can use the little bubbles or the sizing handles to change the shape and the size. So once you have that the way you like, you can right click on top of the shape here and then choose Add Text. And we will call this the Teen Times Review. Now the size is too small, so I can press Ctrl A. That selects my text. Then I can go to Home and choose a different size. So I'm going to try size 20. That's still a little small. I'll go up to 36, and that looks a little better. If you would like to change the font, that's next to the font size here in this drop down. And you can choose another font you would like. So that's the first item from your rubric. The second one is the date somewhere on your first page. So you can just type that in wherever. But the next one says you want a 2 or 3 column layout. So for that, I'm going to click inside the document one time. There's my cursor there, so that's fine. And now what I want to do is go to Layout. And then you have Columns. And you can choose 2 or 3. In the example, there's 2. If you would like to do 3, then you can do 3. And you may not see very much difference, but notice that you have these little areas here. This is the area in between the columns. So there's this white area is column 1. This area here is column 2. And this area here is column 3. If you only did 2, well, you're only going to have 2 areas like that, right? But this little gray area, that's where they're separated. The next one says you need some page numbers. So for the page numbers, you want to go to Insert, go to Page Number, and you can choose where you want the page numbers. You can go on the top, which I don't recommend because you have your title with the shape. You can go to the bottom and then choose one of the bottoms. If you notice, the first plain number 1, 2, and 3 are just a number. If you scroll down some more here, you'll see that there's actually different designs you can choose from. So I'll choose my circle here just to see. And there's my one with the circle. I could double click it because I can change the color. So it was blue and I want that same orange, so I'll just put orange. And then to close this out, you can double click inside the white area. And you should see you have a page number and then your title. And of course you have your columns. You need a page border. Page border is one of those things that's old and people still use them. You still see them here and there. So we'll go ahead and click on Insert. Design. So then number 5 here says that you should have a page border. And a page border is one of those things that's old. It's been in Microsoft Word for a long time and people still use it. So we teach it. And you can go ahead and click on design. And then over here at the end here, you can see page color and then page borders. So we'll click on page borders. And you have these different shapes here you can use. There's dotted borders. There's line, double line, triple lined. Now if you want to get fancy, you can choose an art border like these. So choose the border you would like. I'll choose this one here with the little push pin. And right now it's at size 10, which will be really, really thin. I'm just going to put it up a little bit so we can see it better to about size 16. And it says apply to whole document. If you don't want on the whole document, you can click on these here. See, that turned it off on the top of the page. That turns it off on the bottom. That turns it off on the left. And that turns it off on the right. And then click OK. And now you see you have your nice border. But our teen times review here doesn't look very nice now. So we're going to move this down. And I'm going to make it a little smaller so it fits inside the border. A little better. And then our number here, if you don't like it, you can change it. And what you can do is double click and then click one time on the number. So you can actually go to the sizing handle and then drag in to make this smaller. And look, you can move it up. As long as you're inside the footer, you'll be okay. You can also press Shift and scroll down to keep the circle. And that looks good. So remember, you can double click inside the document, or you can click on close header and footer, and that will take you back to your document also. So that is our page border. And now it says you want to add different shapes. So we already showed you how to add the shapes, so we won't do that again. But now it says you need to add 3 text boxes. So we will add a text box. Go to Insert, Shapes. And this very first one here is a text box. If you don't see it, under Basic Shapes, it should be the very first one. So click on text box. You see your little crosshairs. And what you want to do is you want to stretch it out within that. So you want to stretch out the text box within that column. I don't want to spend a lot of typing, so we're going to do a little trick. We're going to press equal, RAND, and then I'm going to put 2 paragraphs with 6 sentences each, and press enter. So this is automatic text that Microsoft Word will put into your document if you put in that code from the beginning. So I only want the first paragraph in here, so I will leave it like that. And now let's say that I want to continue the rest of this paragraph, but on the next page. So I want to continue it on a new page. So I will go to Insert, and then Blank Page. And oops, my stuff got moved over, so I'm going to have to click on the corner or the edge here, press Control, and then click on the edge here. And now I can move everything together up to the first page. And it just got moved because I inserted the blank page and it inserted an enter, which is a hard break, and it moved it down. But there we go. So now I want to add another text box on the second page. Okay. So we're going to go to Insert and Shapes and Text Box. And let's draw another text box here within our column. Let's do it like that. And then let's say I really want this to be down here on this side. And I want the text from here continuing in the other text box. So in order to connect the two text boxes, what you have to do is click on this first text box, double click it, and then click on create link. Scroll down and then click on the second text box. Notice how it goes from this little cup shape to a cup that's serving water. And now what happened is the text that had been here, the second paragraph, got pushed to this first paragraph. Now that you have your text boxes the way you would like, notice that we have the border here, whereas in the example there's no border. So what you have to do is double click on the edge. Then for shape outline, choose no outline. Border's gone. Now we have to do it to this one. So double click on the edge, go to shape outline and put no outline. And there we go. So number 8 says you want at least 4 images. So for the images, you go to insert, and then pictures is if you have the picture saved on your computer. In this case, we don't have any pictures. We want to go online, so we will click on online pictures. And whatever the topic is going to be of your newsletter. So in our case, let's say we're doing different animals. So I'll just type in animals. And let's say I want the tiger here. And then I want the pandas. And the swan. The elephant. So I have 4 pictures selected. When I click insert, they'll all appear. Now to move these around, we will double click them. And notice how they have that shape attached to it. So you actually can't just move the picture. You need to go to the edge of the shape here and then move that over. And look what happened. It didn't want to move over. So what you need to do is double click on the edge, go to wrap text, and then choose square, for example. And once you do that, now you can move the picture wherever you would like. And then you can delete this part. Just click inside and press backspace. And you can add your own text. So we'll go to our next picture here with the pandas. And we'll double click on the edge, go to wrap text, and you can choose square like you did in the other one. And then you just drag it wherever you'd like. And then just put cool pandas. And to resize, go to the corner here and drag. Now it says you need a title for each article. So what that means is where you had your text here, you have to add a title. We want to call our first article the Great Wildlife. And that's going to be our title. So because it's our title, we're going to select it with our mouse and then go to home, make it a bigger font. If you want to make it stand out, you can make it a little bold here, or you could change the color if you like. And the next one says you want the name of the person that wrote the article under the title. So in our second window here, oop, this got moved, so let's move it back up. You want to click on the end, press enter, and then put your name as the writer of the article. And then the last part of the rubric says that you need 1 instance of word art. And on my screen, it's a little compressed because I have it smaller than what it should be. but you should have this symbol somewhere on your screen. Insert word art, and then you choose a design you like. Ooh, there's an orange. So now you have your text down here that appeared. Find the edge, you can move it around. Resize, just like a picture or a text box, and then change it to your title or to your, change it to whatever you would like for it to say. So again, this is just to review the items from your rubric. I hope this is helpful, and now you're able to work on your own newsletter with your partners or by yourself, depending what your teacher says. And I hope you enjoy working on this project.